Hello, I'm Coach Dan from Dan Blackmore Goaltending, and today we're going to be talking about 5 drills to improve your edge work and basic movement. I'll start by outlining each drill briefly, and then we'll see what it looks like on ice in a training environment. So the first drill we're going to do is C-cuts forwards and backwards. We're going to start with C-cuts on one leg for now, as when working on skating, it can be good to try to isolate specific movements or specific components of movement. In this drill, we want to make sure that we're really digging with our heel when we're C-cutting forwards and digging with our toe going backwards, making sure to bring the foot all the way back in and keep our chest up and balanced while we're moving. After going forwards and backwards on each leg, and when we're feeling comfortable with that, we'll move on to alternating C-cuts, where the same principles still apply. Digging with our edges, not moving too fast, and making sure that we're staying balanced with our upper body. Next, we'll go into a movement that's called bubbles, where we're almost doing a C-cut on both feet at the same time, but we're focused on getting our feet as wide as we possibly can before pulling them back in nice and tight, making sure that we're keeping our knees bent as our feet come together so that we're keeping our head at the same level the whole time. We'll move forwards and backwards in our bubbles, again, making sure that we're digging with our edges, not moving too fast, and staying in control.
We're gonna start one-legged C-cuts. I know you know this one well. Gonna be in your stance, C-cut out, all the way up, and then backwards back, all the way back to the crease. Make sure when we're going forward, we're digging in with the heel. Backwards, we're digging in with the toe, but we're always keeping that chest level, those hands and that body nice and calm, all right? Good. Nice. Good, and back. Not a bad start. What I want to see is more bringing that foot back in. So instead of just C-cutting lightly out here, right, like I'm driving, and then I'm pulling that foot all the way. See how that works? Okay. Go again on the right side, because I want to see that foot coming back in, all right? Yeah, bring it all the way in, all the way in. Good. Good, and backwards back. Good, bring that foot all the way in. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Yeah, nice, good, good. Let it go. Nice and calm, let it go. Good, digging with that toe. Nice work, nice work. Yeah, a little bit more of a dig going backwards. Yeah, like you're doing a great job cutting in there. Make sure we're still dragging and digging that foot and going backwards, all right? Good, nice, good. Good, now dig with that toe. Nice, yes, that's better. Good, dig with that toe. How'd it go? Nice work, nice work. Left side now. Make sure when you're going backwards, I don't want to see you popping up and leaning over on that side that you're cutting in with. Still keeping that body in the middle, right here, digging and keeping that chest centered, all right? Good. Stick on the ice, stick on the ice. Bring it in, good. Nice. Good. Yeah, much better. Switch it up. Good. How'd it go, Dana? Dig with that toe, yes, good, nice. Good, alternating C-cuts, same things apply. We're not just going a million miles an hour now. It's still out, in, out, in, out, in. All right? Bring that foot all the way in. Nice, good, and hard back, good. Good, yeah. Just a little bit more effort, bringing that foot all the way, curling out, and then getting back in that narrow stance, okay? Good, nice work, nice work. All right, bubbles now. So here, in your stance, getting out wide, pulling your feet in. Out wide, pulling your feet back in. I don't want to see that chest coming up here, right? I don't want to see standing and down, forwards and backwards. I'm keeping that head at the same level and pulling my feet back in. Try to get your ankles to touch. I know you got those pads on. Try to get your ankles touching each other there, all right? Get those feet together, feet together. And back. Yeah. A little weird, right? Yeah, you notice how your feet were getting a little wider and wider and wider every time? That's why we need to make sure that we're pulling the feet back together. See where she's bending her knees and her legs are almost coming straight together? That's what I want to see. Nice work, Dana. Watch the bobbing, going backwards. Good. One more time. Knees together, ankles together. Watch the bobbing up and down, going backwards, all right? Good. Yes, nice. Good. Nice. Better, better. Good. Nice. Good. Good. Let's keep that head at the same level here, going backwards. Nice. Yes. Good. Atta girl. Atta girl. Nice work.
After going through with our C-cuts and bubbles, we're going to look at different movements that we can do involving pivots. So I like to start by either setting up pucks or drawing X's on the ice with my bingo dabber in a zigzag pattern. And these are basically markers that the goalies are going to be using to push to when they're practicing their movements. So for each movement, the goalie is going to start by squaring up to the first marker or the first puck, and they're going to pivot, look, find the next puck, move over to it, and get set and square on angle to that next puck. We'll do this with T-pushes, shuffles, and slides. Again, making sure that we're getting a nice big pivot so we can look, find that next puck before we push, and making sure that we're getting set before we begin to pivot for the next puck.
Centered and squared up to this X to start. We're going to pivot, eyes finding that next X, T-push, set. And then before we push, we're always opening up, finding the next X with our eyes, push, set. Pivot, find the X, push, pivot. Good. Nice. Good. 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 Now you're going forwards, back the other way. Forwards, back. So here, treat this almost like pushing off of your post out to the corner crease. So you're here, look, push, set. Look, push, set. All right? Look first, good, yes. Oh, square up, square up. So you're going to start from here again. I want you to focus on bringing your back shoulder around. Okay, because you're coming out here, you're stopping, and you're ending up facing up ice here. I want you on that 45-degree angle to make sure you're doing a good job of looking, push, and making sure that I'm bringing that back shoulder around. You see how I'm almost punching it through as I'm going through that skating, and that's what sets me up on this angle. Okay, so start back there again. Pivot, push, bring that, yes, good. Good. Good, one more. Attaboy, good, switch it up. Here we go, Dana. Yep. Good, open up, eyes, yep. Good. Looking first, then pushing, good. Good. I like that you're pivoting first. I want to see your eyes dropping down to that marker though. You know what I mean? Because I want that visual cue. Okay? Looking, push, set, punch that shoulder through. Good. Good, yes, bring that back shoulder through. Nice. Look. Good. Same thing, we're going shuffles. We're going to go backwards there and backwards back. The first time we go there, I want open up. 2 small shuffles there. Open up again, finding that X. 2 small shuffles. When we're coming back the other way, I want big pushes. So you'll be here, open up, find the X, strong shuffle over, we're getting there in 1. Open up, find the X, strong shuffle over, we're getting there in 1. Open up, good. Find that X first, find that X first. Good. Missed one back there, huh? Yeah? Make sure you're opening up enough so you can see it first, and then we go. All right? Good. Pivot, push, good. Yeah, you're getting into a bit of a T-push there, yeah? Load up more, long shuffle across. Okay, here we go, Dana. 2 shuffles there. Good. 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 Nice, good. Open up, long push, good, yes. Nice, yeah, very explosive, good. Nice work. I'd say those shuffles almost looked easier than the T-pushes because you're doing a better job of looking, finding it with your eyes versus when you were T-pushing backwards, your eyes were kind of up and you were missing the X and almost stopping out here. So you're gonna pivot, find the puck, slide, up to your feet. Good. Pivot. Find the puck, slide, up to your feet. Good, yes. Good. Find the X, find the X. I want you getting behind that X. If you gotta pivot more, you gotta pivot more. Good, up. Good. Now, going back the other way, I'm gonna bang my stick. Butterfly, pivot, slide, stop your slide up, and then up to your feet. Ready? Butterfly, pivot, slide, up. Butterfly, pivot, slide, up. Good, I want those hands up when you butterfly, all right? Treat this as a reacting butterfly. Ready? Butterfly, pivot, slide, up. Good. Whoa! Butterfly, pivot, find the X, slide, up. Get a strong push, get that leg all the way in. 2 more. Ready? Butterfly, pivot, slide, up. Good, last one. Pivot, good. Switch it up. Good, good. Butterfly, pivot, slide, up. Good. Butterfly, pivot, straight down in that butterfly, then think about the pivot, all right? Don't be twisting going down. Slide, yeah, get all the way there, all the way there. I know it's hard to see, this is the last one. Butterfly, pivot, good, up. Ready? Right there, good. Good, good. Last 2. Big pivot. Yes, nice work, Dana. Last one. Good, get some water, goalies.